Hi, this is Barry J. McDonald here, and I'd like to welcome you to today's blog post over at writecom.com. And today we had a look at the topic of the number one and why it's the loneliest and the most dangerous number that there is. Now, this had come up from a recent podcast I've been listening to by Ben Settle. And if you haven't listened to his podcast, I highly recommend you subscribe because he gives away some great information in that podcast. But Ben had brought up the topic of the number one, and it was something that he had himself taken from something that Dan Kennedy had mentioned. And it's basically the fact that number one is a very dangerous number. And what he meant by that was that, relying on, for example, if you're self-publishing your books, if you're relying on one bookstore to make all your sales, it can be dangerous for you in that, if anything ever happened to your account, say for example, if you had an Amazon account, if it was closed down, all of a sudden that income stream is gone. Whereas maybe if you had a backup, you're selling your books not only in the Amazon Kindle store, but maybe you're selling them in the Apple's iTunes bookstore, or you're taking it to some site like Draft Digital or Smashwords or something like that, and got your book distributed all over the place. So you're making sales from everywhere rather than just relying on the one place. Another thing then too is relying on traffic from one source. The minute Facebook is in a bit of bother, and who knows what way it's going to go with it. But if you're relying on traffic maybe from your website or maybe to your author page or your book page, and you've been using Facebook ads, what would happen maybe if everybody just started deleting their Facebook accounts, and all of a sudden then those ads weren't as useful as they used to be? What would you do then? So in that case, you would be better off working on another traffic source to your website, whether it's blogging, or whether it's creating some kind of traffic source some other way, whether it's setting up maybe a YouTube channel or something like that and directing traffic to it that way. So then that way, you're not relying on the one traffic source that is the backbone of your business. Again too, I recently moved the Writecom website over to some new hosting service, and I had the backups I thought were the right ones, but when it came to transferring the website over, unfortunately the WordPress plugin wasn't working for me, and I hadn't got backups. And it really made me aware of, that I did have backups, but maybe I should have had like a second backup system, some other WordPress plugin maybe that would back up the site for me, and I would fall back on that. So thankfully, I had enough time to back up everything with another plugin and transfer everything over. But it just made me realize, how dangerous it is relying on, one copy of anything. Like even, for example, the hard drive in your laptop. What if that, failed today? Have you got a backup of all those hundreds, maybe thousands of hours of work you have, worked on your business? Have you got some way of, calling that back, whether it's with Dropbox, whether it's with Amazon's storage service, or whatever it is? And if you haven't got it, well, maybe it's time that you had a look at more options of backing up and doubling up or even tripling up your work. I was listening to a podcast by Tim Ferriss, and he had Jocko Willink, who is a decorated Navy SEAL, and the quote that he gave on that podcast, it's always stuck with me, is 2 is 1 and 1 is none. Now, if you've never heard that quotation before, basically what it means is if you've got 2 of something, if you lose one, you've always got 1 to fall back on. But if you've only got 1 and that's gone, or it's missing or broken, you've none at all. So for a decorated Navy SEAL who's gone into combat and fought in Iraq and all these places, of course he would have doubled up on whatever equipment he needed. And because of that, then he knew that if anything happened to one, he'd always one to fall back on. So there's so many things that we online do that are maybe just kind of, we've only got one stream of income, one traffic stream, one product, one book series. And because of that, then you should really take a look at doubling up, branching out, or getting rid of that number one, having maybe 2 of everything or 3 of everything. And the more you have, the more you can fall back on if anything really goes wrong. So again, number one is the loneliest and most dangerous number, and it's something you should really take a look at in your business today. How can you protect yourself in those situations if in case anything went wrong, that you wouldn't fall foul of the number one? So my name's been Barry J. McDonald, and this has been today's blog post over at writecom.com. And if you'd like to drop by, we have got 2 great free reports at the moment. One of them is how to sell more books, and another one is 10 ways to make money from writing. So if you'd like to know a little bit more about me or read more content in the blog, you're highly welcome to drop by, and we'd be glad to see you over there. Take care and have a great day. Bye-bye.